Hey there, this is Katherine Cartwright. Welcome. I have a fun video that I'm going to be sharing today. This is an unboxing of the Today Special from Diamond Press. This is going to be available on hsn.com very shortly. It will be the August Today Special on August 13th. So just right around the corner. So let's open this up and I'll show you everything that you will get. All right. So this is a watercolor kit, a mega watercolor kit. There is a glitter brush included. There's some information about that and then some other details. And so let's open all of this up and then I'm going to swatch everything and share all the details. And then I'm going to make a few projects too using this new Today Special. All right. So let me open everything up and see what we get. There is this glitter brush that I mentioned, and it's got some instructions on how to use that, so I'll open that up in a minute. And then we've got a bag here that has some handles. You can see it's a zippered bag, and let me measure that. This is going to be about almost 12 inches by about 9.5, and there is some handles, like I say. And there is a zippered pocket on the front. You can see that it's like a nice mesh, heavy-duty pocket. And then on the inside, it feels kind of water resistant in there, sort of like so you could put some wet things in there, which is nice. And then we've got an ink pad here that is a black non-smudge ink, so it's waterproof. We've got some 3 wooden paint brushes here that we're going to use. They got kind of a flat head and then a couple of detail ones. We've got some stamps and here is some cardstock. So we've got some black cardstock here and some white cardstock. And these are 5 by 7 inches. So we'll have to try those out as well. So nice size. And there's kind of there's a smooth edge, or smooth side I should say, and then kind of a textured side on the other, which I love about watercolor paper because sometimes I want texture in my when I'm doing watercolor. So I'm really excited to try this out. All right, and let me get this last package open here, which appears to be a mat. So let's open this up. It feels like one. And let me move my stuff out of the way. Oh my goodness, look at this large mat here. I need to turn this the other direction. So we've got some little holders for the wells. There we go. I've got it turned the right direction. So there's an inch marker on the top, and there's some wells to hold all this water at the top. You can see that. And there's this awesome little lip on here to keep your water from going everywhere. So that's a really, really nice feature. And you can lay your brushes there while you're working. So just really, really cool. And this mat, I didn't measure it in the video, but I can tell you that it's about 17 inches wide by about 14 inches high. So it's a really nice size mat. So I failed to do that in the video, and I wanted to make sure that I mentioned it. So a really good size mat. Let's open up these stamps here and see what we get. Looks like there's 3 sets of stamps, 3 sheets of it. And I'm going to pull a piece of paper over here so hopefully you can see it a little bit better. Sometimes I get some glare from my camera, but we've got some flower bouquets here. We've got a hummingbird, a rose, kind of a fall themed one with a pumpkin, it looks like, bouquet. And then the sentiment, thankful for you. So super cute. And then I'll show you the other pages too. This one says, wishing you a happy day, some butterflies. There's this gorgeous wreath with some roses on there and a little bird sitting on a branch. Very, very cute. So, wow, you get a lot of stuff. And I was just going to measure about 5.5 by almost 6 3/4 stamp set. So you get 3 of those. So pretty large sheets of stamps. And then we have some more beautiful bouquets here and then some more sentiments. And I love the way that they're open, like how you can see sending you love, and so you could watercolor in the letters. So very nice. All right, so I said it's a mega watercolor kit, so let's get to the star. which is going to be this watercolor pan. All right, so let me get this out of the wrapping, and it has this nice tin container that it's in. And this video is going to be long, so I'm just going to go on and tell you. Because I want to swatch all of this for you. When I do these unboxings, I really want to show you all of the details. Okay, so we've got this beautiful little palette of colors. These are called chameleon colors. So they're all the different chameleon colors, gold and green, and they have it on each side, turquoise, a swatch on each side. So whichever one you flip over, you've got your colors. And this one is printed on the one side that has all of the colors in this palette. And so we've got bright red. I won't go through all of them, but there's 40 colors. So there are 20 of regular colors and then just straight watercolors. And there's a brush in here as well. There's a water pen brush in here, which will be really nice to work with. And then I'll open up, there's this little tray in here kind of dividing the sets that you can use to mix as a palette as well that just pops out of there. So you've got some little wells in there for mixing. And look at all of these colors. There are, again, 40 colors. So there are 20 of regular watercolors, and then there are 20 that are shimmer. So we've got, bright red and greens and blues, yellows and pinks and purples, of course. And then on the bottom 2 rows are going to be your shimmer colors. Okay. So I am going to spend some time swatching these in just a second. And I'm just kind of getting this all ready. I'm going to show you I've got this everything set up now. So I want to open up this glitter pen that is included as well. It's in this nice little plastic case here. So it arrives safe and sound, and it gives you some instructions of how to unscrew this and then take the little top off, and then you're going to twist the top back on. Okay, and it shows you which direction to turn this, and then you can shake this up, and then you can dispense out that glitter. Okay, so you see there's a little piece in there, kind of a little metal piece in there that allows you to shake up and disperse that glitter. Okay, so I'm going to swatch a little bit of this onto my cardstock, and I'm just getting the pen started. I'm going pretty gently. I don't want to push so hard and then just pour it all out. I tend to do that, be a little over aggressive in my squeezing. So I'm just taking my time here, and now you can see that paper come alive with all of this glitter. So you could take this glitter and use it on its own, or you could mix it with some of the watercolors. So there is a lot of things that you could do with a pen like this. And I love glitter brush markers. So I am thrilled to get this one. But look at that on that black cardstock. And I'm showing you on the black because it just really shows up. But it would be really beautiful on the white cardstock as well. But I wanted you to see all of that glitter in there. Okay, so I've got my pan here and I've got my mat out, and I am just going to open this back up, and I'm going to work on filling up my water brush, and it has some instructions for that. So you're going to unscrew the tip from the barrel, twisting the tip away from you. Okay, so you're twisting away to open this, which may be a little bit different than some. If you have a water pen like this, it may be a little bit different. So you're going to twist away to open that up, and then twist it the opposite direction to fill it. So I've got it filled up with some water here, and then I'm just going to squeeze this onto the paper. So it has a nice brush on there, and then you can just see how it dispenses nicely on there. And I love to use a water pen like this. I'm probably more familiar with that than I am with brushes, because that's just kind of what I've gravitated to over time. So I'm absolutely thrilled that they have included a water brush in here. All right, so this is chameleon dark pink, and then there's chameleon gold, green, turquoise, and dark blue. And again, this video is going to be kind of long because I'm going to show you all of the colors, because I just feel like it's important to give you a complete unboxing so you can see everything that you get, and especially how this product performs. Now I have got a little cloth over here. This is something I prefer to do when I work with watercolors. I like to have a cloth or some kind of, paper towel. I usually use a cloth so I can just wash it and reuse it. And I use it for a myriad of uses in my craft room because I'm a very messy crafter and always making lots and lots of oopsies. And they're great for, cleaning off stencils and things like that. So I always keep a kind of cloth in my craft room. And when I watercolor, the more water you add to watercolor, it will kind of lighten or thin out your color, out the vibrancy of it. So if you add a ton of water, you're going to have a less vibrant color. But these chameleons right here are very, very bright. There is no concern about the amount of pigment in these. So very, very gorgeous. Lots and lots of shimmer in this. And so I'm just going to keep going, and I've added a little bit of water to each pan. And then I'm just going to kind of mix that around. But I'm using my cloth here to just wipe off my brush, making sure that I've got it all clean. You could use some paper. You can use your mat here to brush that off as well. And I'm going to add some water to the top of my mat in just a minute. But I'm just going to go and finish swatching on this. All right, so here is that last one, the dark blue. And then I'm going to let that dry. And you can really see the color, although it's really bright right now, but it'll become even more shimmery as it dries. All right, so I've got all of those colors. So you get 5 of these. So again, you've gotten the 40, you'll get 40 in the palette, and then you get 5 of these chameleon colors. All right, so now I want to start swatching some of these colors. And I'm going to start on the top left, and again I have this little palette that's included that allows me to swatch this, which I think is really important. When you have this many colors, sometimes it's kind of hard to see what it is when there isn't water in it. You can tell like the reds and things like that, but sometimes a turquoise or a purple or a navy will look different when it's actually wet. So I think it's important to take a second here and swatch this for you. And I'm going to start a little slow, and then I'm going to speed it up. So I've added some water up into my wells, and then I'm just going to keep going from color to color. So we've got some red and orange and yellow, and then we're going to move into some greens here. So there are a couple of greens. Actually, there are 3 greens here. There is a yellow green, kind of a traditional green, and then there's a darker green, and just really, really pretty. We've got an aqua here, which is a beautiful light blue, and then we've got a teal, and you can see how dark that is in the pan, but once you take the water, it looks totally different. So that's why I think it's important to do the swatching. That way you can refer to which color you might be looking for. And then we have a blue here, that gorgeous, gorgeous blue. We've got navy blue, of course, which is a gorgeous dark shade. And then we're going to move into some purples. And you can see I'm using my brush here, and when you add more water, you can see that it's a little bit lighter. So again, I'm just using that cloth to kind of, sometimes I can add a little bit too much water. And so to get a good swatch, I want to make sure I don't have just pouring off of my brush. So again, in this little palette, the paper palette, I should say, is made of the watercolor paper as well. So it will give you a really true representation of what this color is going to look like on watercolor paper. Watercolor paper performs differently than regular paper because it's made, as its name says, to accept water. And so it just performs differently than a traditional cardstock, which has fiber and all of that as well. But a watercolor paper is made for these beautiful colors, and it gives you these gorgeous results. Okay, so now I've gotten all of my regular watercolors done, and I am moving into, I'm getting close to the shimmers. I'm almost done. I've got this gold and this light gold, and then we've got all of these shimmers that are so beautiful, and I'm just I'm jumping out a little bit. I just had to swatch them a little bit onto this black cardstock. I want you to see them. I'm going to come back in a minute and do it all on black cardstock so you can see the shimmers. but I just kind of had to jump ahead and see how beautiful they are. I just want to share everything with you. Okay, so we've got some greens here, and then we'll move into some blues. But you can see, and then you can, use these colors together. So if you use the green and the traditional green without the shimmer, the regular green, and then you want to add some shimmer, you just can go into your green shimmer and add that on top. And so I'm just going to move to this bottom row here and finish swatching. And you can see that once my my little well gets dirty, that's why I filled up a bunch of the wells at the top. Then I can just move on to another one, and then I don't have to stop every time and replace the water. So it's so nice that they have, how many wells are there? I should count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 of those wells, and then that really large one in the middle that will allow you to do a lot of watercoloring without having to go to get new water every time. So you can just use these until they get dirty, and then you just move to the next one. You can see how I'm moving to the next one once that one has become a little too dirty for me to use. Okay, so now I've gotten all of those shimmers. So again, the shimmers are on the bottom and the regular watercolors are on the top. Okay, and now I want to just add all of these shimmers onto some black cardstock. I know I had started with that mid doing the palette, and then I really wanted to come back and show you all of these shimmers on the cardstock. So if you have not experimented with watercolor, this is a fantastic palette for you. These are really high quality pigments, and they perform beautifully. You'll see when I have some cards, and then I'm sure you've probably maybe seen some samples out there that they have shown in the sneak peek that are gorgeous. So it's just and another thing I like about watercolor too, personally for me, is it's very forgiving. I really like that you can do a lot of different techniques with watercolor, and it doesn't have to be perfect, which is great. And it's very different than like stamping. Just doing stamping, you can, color outside the lines, and it still looks really, really good. And you can create things with this. You could paint your own flowers. You could paint a landscape. There are so many things that you can do with watercolors, and particularly if you have this black cardstock with the shimmers, you can do so many really cool techniques. All right. So I'm finishing up here, and then I'll kind of bring that back into camera so you can see all of these beautiful shimmers. But look how gorgeous they are on that black cardstock. Okay, you can see them on the palette, got some beautiful shimmer there, and you can really see them on that black cardstock. All right, so that is all of the watercolors swatched in different capacities, so to speak, on the palette, and then also additionally on that black cardstock so you can see it. And that is the unboxing for this kit, and then you can just store your palettes. I'm going to let them dry. I'll make sure my watercolors are dry inside before I close it up, because if I leave it wet it might drip onto those little palettes, and so I'll just make sure that they are dry. Okay, so that's the unboxing, but I haven't stopped yet. I wanted to share a few little techniques and continue my video, I should say, with making a couple of cards and share a few thoughts on this product. All right, so I'm definitely going to use my butterflies here. I love butterflies. We live close to a butterfly kind of observatory, so to speak, and we go very often, so I have a real love affair with butterflies, and so of course I'm going to make a card using these butterflies. So I have trimmed down a piece of that watercolor paper, and just to remind you, it's 5x7, the paper that you'll receive in your Today Special, and I'm going to ink this up with the black ink included in the kit, which you can use with watercolor because it is waterproof, which is fantastic. And then I'm going to just move this other little butterfly so I can have my fourth one to surround my wishing you a happy day. And then I'll just stamp that one down. It already had a little ink on it, so that gives me a start. And then I will just finish that off. And now I can watercolor onto this panel. This is one of my favorite techniques to do with watercolor related to card making, because one, it's very easy, and it's very forgiving, but you can do a lot of them and make a bunch of cards. So just by changing the color. So I'm going to add some water into my palette here. I'm really going for, I think I'm going to go with some blues. And you can see I've been using my palette since I videotaped initially the unboxing. I have been making samples and projects, and so it has been well loved and well used. So I can really, really speak to the quality of it and how satisfied I have been with its performance. And so I am just going to take my water brush here. You can see, again, if you add a lot of water, you lighten your color a little bit and you can move it around. And if you want more color, you just kind of pull off on using so much out of the pen. And I'm just going to kind of blend this teal and this light blue together. And I want this to be sort of, I don't want to say messy, artistic, would that be a better word? Where it's just kind of organic and kind of splotches on there, and then I will let that dry. But again, you can change this color so quickly. So if I wanted an orange panel or a yellow panel, you have so much flexibility and you have a completely different card. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this up. I'm just going back, adding a little bit more water and moving around that color a little bit more, and then I can let that dry. And sometimes, with watercolor, you'll miss a spot. You can see kind of some white on the edge or whatever. I'm going to fill that in because I want my whole page covered with water. Okay. All right. And when I'm satisfied that I've gotten all of my spots covered up, I will let that dry, and we'll come back to that in just a minute. Okay. So quickly, that just popped in, this little sponge and that little container with the brushes. There is an add-on kit that I just wanted to share with you, and this sponge is from that. So, and I would highly recommend it. I think it's called the Watercolor Accessory Kit. It has a sponge, has a collapsible water cup, and it has more pens of these water pens in different sizes in them. And they are fantastic. So if you're interested in those, I'll be sure and link that in the description as well, and send you over to HSN so you can check that out. But I would imagine that's going to be a popular item to go along with this kit. All right, so I am just using my sponge here. I'm adding a little bit of water and I'm dabbing this onto my background to get a little texture. You can see how it kind of has this texture to it, and looks kind of like a little landscape there. And so I'm going to let that dry, and then I will come back and finish that off into a card. But again, I wanted to show you a couple more things. So I've got a piece of the black cardstock, and I'm back again with the chameleon, and I am going to add this to the black cardstock. I'm going to cover all of this up, and you can see all of that shimmer and shine. It is just beautiful. And again, just adding more water if needed. Otherwise, I'm going to have a lot of the shimmer. So you can take it off if you want to by just diluting it a little more with the water. And I'm going to let this dry really, really well too, but you can see. And this is kind of one of those things, it's so hard to see on camera, but it's so beautiful. The shimmer and shine is just gorgeous. So this is that chameleon. And this is I think this is the dark blue, the last one on the end. Okay, so I'll come back to that in a second too. So I'm just going to show you some of these techniques, and then I'll round back around with some finished cards. So again, I have stamped one of those bouquets, and thankful for you, and I did add one more butterfly. I'm going to speed this one up just a little bit because I know this video is very long, but I am just going to add some water to a couple of my colors. And then I'm going to come back in and start watercoloring. And I'm pulling my palette out again so I can remember what it is. This is the shimmer one. This is the pink. I think this is called the pink shimmer. And I'm going to do my flower with this. And so I'm just going to begin by laying down a little bit of that shimmer. And don't forget, there's also the glitter pen in here. So if you wanted to watercolor and then come back with some glitter, You could pick some of the color up with your glitter pen. Again, lots of opportunity to do a lot of fun techniques with these products. Now I'm going to come back and add a little bit of this darker pink here to get a little bit of shading and add a little bit of depth to my flower, but I still have that gorgeous shimmer in there. And so I'm just going to work this color around, adding a little bit of dimension into there. And oftentimes if I get too much water on there, I just use my finger to grab it up. You could use that cloth that I'm using, or a paper towel. Sometimes I get a little too much with the water, but that's okay. That's the beauty of watercolor, is it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, now I'm going to move into my greenery here, and once again you can make it whatever color you want. So I'm using the lighter green, the darker green, and then I'm just going to use my mat there to maybe mix in a little bit of the light and the dark to get some different shading there. So you can do that too on this mat. And then I'm going to finish that part up, and then I can work on my butterfly. But this brush is very detailed, so you're really able to get into those fine areas with the tip of your brush. All right, and I'm going to finish up the other greenery at the top. Again, I'm still just kind of mixing some of these colors together as I wish, making them lighter or darker by controlling the amount of water that I have on my pen. Okay, so that's so pretty. I'm just going to add just a little bit more shimmer in a couple of spots that I missed, cleaning up anything that I may have missed. All right, so now I want to work on my butterfly. And I'm just going to kind of put some random yellow and orange to fill that in. And then that will take care of the sweet little butterfly. But these are just so fun. You could stamp out several of these panels. And then this palette is small enough that it really would be great for traveling. And since you have the brush included, you have everything you need. So you could stamp some panels out of this onto some of your watercolor paper, and then take your palette with you, and you could do this on vacation, or I like to take things like this to travel with me. Sometimes in the evening when I'm watching TV or something, I love to kind of use my hands. And as a card maker, I think a lot of us can relate to that. I like to keep my hands busy with fun stuff like this. So this is something I would do. I would stamp out a bunch of these, take them with me, and then you can make different ones just by changing your colors. So lots of flexibility. Okay, now I'm back. Going to finish up these cards. So hopefully I've given you some ideas of some things that you could do, just a few things you could do with this watercolor. There's so many more things that you could do. I couldn't possibly scratch the surface, but I did want to give you just a couple of ideas that you might consider. All right, so I'm just going to turn this into a quick card here, and I just love the way that turned out. One layer, but has some dimension in there and interest with the movement of that color. All right, so I'm back with the chameleon piece, and I wanted to cut a few letters out of here, and I'm going to create the word boo. And this alphabet is included in this release as well, this upcoming release. This is going to be an auto ship product, so there'll be some other ones to follow. If you're interested, be sure and check those out. But I thought this would be cute to use to create a Halloween card. There are a lot of Halloween products coming too. And so you can pair all of these things together, but you can make custom letters, custom watercolor letters. And this one has the shimmer. And for my final project, I have stamped Sending You Love, and I just cut it out with a circle die, and then I watercolored it with some of that beautiful purple. And then, of course, sticking with my butterflies, I had to add just a couple more to tie them in. Again, big butterfly lover, so I try to sneak them in every chance I can. And I'm so happy that they're included in one of these 3 stamp sets that you'll be getting. All right, so Sending You Love. So I've got kind of my little landscape here, and I'm just going to glue this down and pop that up onto my card. And then you've got a fun textured background. You could add some flowers to this. It's just so much you could do with it. All right, I'm gonna add a piece of foam here and pop that up, and then you've got a quick card with some interest. All right, so here are the 3 cards to wrap up this video. I added a few little pearls to this Thankful for You. You can see that shimmer reflecting in the camera from that pink shimmer, and here is that little textured piece with sending you love. So cute. And that one's 5x7, just for reference. And then just a reminder of you can also make alphabets with this, any color that you want. All right, and here is the palette again, and here are the colors that you receive. Don't forget, you get the matte, that big matte, and here they are with the shimmer again. I just had to show that again. So pretty. I love to swatch colors. They're a lot of fun. And so you also get that glitter pen. You get 3 sheets of stamps. Don't forget that. You get 3 watercolor brushes as well. And then that bag. There's also the bag that you could put all of these things in to store. You could take these with you. So when you're traveling, put your bag in there, your mat in your bag, and your palette in there, and you are good to go. So I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. Be sure to leave me any questions or comments if you have any questions about this product. I'd be glad to answer them or get you the information. But I hope you will check out the Today Special over at HSN coming from Diamond Press. And thanks so much for watching. Happy crafting and have a great day.